This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by...
Are you going to go Ian got 3 days for his couch contemptiveness, not removing the couch when they told him to. And he got 90 days in prison for disrespecting authority.
Now I have the unenviable task of going to find Ian's girlfriend Julia and telling her the news. She, I'm sure, is just like Ian and I, had no expectation that her boyfriend would be locked up, and 93 days is not a small stint. You know, it's laughable for me having done 8.5 years, but I mean, you know, 93 days, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't want to be away from my family, and I'm sure my family wouldn't want to be away from me.
The documentary crew trying to get Code Enforcer Carl Patton to grant them an interview. Looks like he has. Something else I'd like to mention is happening in Keene right now. It happens a lot. This siren goes off, it seems like twice an hour. And, well, usually it stops, but this time, I think it affects the lights. And look at this. The town is experiencing what is really not something that ever should be happening in Keene. That is a traffic jam. Now, you're just a Keene resident who's like stuck in this. What's going on here?
Traffic. Every single day, just like this.
Okay, I gotta move, thanks. So this is happening every day?
What's that?
This is happening every day?
Yeah, every day, just like this. They got so much construction going around everywhere.
So what he's saying is it's mostly a construction issue. Although, like I said, I haven't seen this kind of backup. Of course, I don't go on. That's not a street I travel on very much. I tend to travel down Court Street more. The construction's been going on for you know, months out here, maybe a year, and it's amazing how long it takes to just change one small stretch of road. Although this is not really the stretch that's under construction; it's near here. One thing that's important and helpful to do in a situation like this is to you know, give the local media a call, let them know what just happened. News tip. I did that for the Keene Sentinel. However, I doubt they'll report it. They have generally tried to ignore the activities of Free Staters because they apparently don't like us or whatnot. But the you know, to some extent that has to be taken in stride, because if you look at the peaceful revolutions in the Soviet Union and Czechoslovakia, the media there did the same thing, you know, and ignored the freedom activists, pretended like they didn't exist, or maybe attacked them from time to time. And of course, we're starting to come into the same situation in the United States. I guess it's not something that should surprise any of us. It's like Vin Saprinowitz said, I think it was Vin Saprinowitz, we can't get too caught up in the fact that the dinosaurs are in charge. We just have to keep becoming better mammals, keep improving ourselves until the day when the dinosaurs are no longer in charge. Couple other thoughts. It seems like what Ian ended up kind of having to do was almost you know, split-second decision-making on what he was going to obey and what he wasn't going to obey. For me, I think what I'm learning from watching these circumstances, and one of the important things about him doing this, is that it teaches all of us. One thing I try to do is, like, go ahead and be compliant with the authorities for the most part, and if they do order you to do something that you think is just crazy, then maybe even that you go ahead and do it, but come back later pre-planned, and maybe violate that bad law or the bad order later. And of course, you can't do that with everything. Some things, like some hills, are worth dying on almost no matter what. For instance, when someone tells you to shut off the camera, for the most part, that's a hill I'm ready to die on and not willing to shut the camera off. You saw earlier today how I was willing to do it temporarily in order to read these rules. That was unexpected and unplanned, so I wasn't ready to make a split-second decision as to whether to disobey Lance's first order. But, you know, as I say, this sort of Monday morning quarterbacking, but I would have preferred that Ian had gone ahead and complied with a lot of these things like sitting and standing, but just refused that one thing, you know, refused to pay the fine for the couch. Or maybe, you know, refusing to stand. But again, you don't want to do the two necessarily on the same event. I'm not sure. But it seems like one civil disobedience at a time is good. Anyway, it's Dave Ridley signing off from Keene, New Hampshire this November 14th, 2008. The day when Ian Freeman was first arrested.
Most talk radio sucks. What if you found a show that wanted to end the war on drugs? Would you listen? Join us for the #1 pro-liberty talk show, Free Talk Live. Listen live or via podcast for free at freetalklive.com.